Hey FunXies, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm back with another Disney princess, which is Princess Tiana, and you guys requested me a lot to make this video. So today I'm finally gonna do it. So without any further ado, let's get on into the video. So over here I've taken this craft wire and I'll cover this with the newspaper. So after making a coiling of it, I'll now just make these two and then stick these two together basically in this shape, and then I'll just use a white thread and tie these out. So after that, now I'll just give the shape for the hands. And guys, over here I'm using wire for the base because it can be movable afterwards. And that's what I'm gonna do. So now let's start making the base. So over here I've taken these two pieces of white card paper, and these two are the circles. One is little big and the other one is little small. So this is the base which I've made over here, and then I'll just fold some newspaper again. And now I'll start rolling this for the body over here. After doing that, I'll just repeat the same thing for the head as well, and I'll just fold some newspaper on the head. So after I'm done with that, I'll take the other piece of white cut paper and I'll just cut the same thing again over here. And also you can see I've drawn some lines over here just to cut out the petals, and that's what I'm gonna do over here, just freehand cutting some petals. And after that again I'll use my pencil and I'll just fold the petals. So I'll just use my pencil and literally fold it towards the upward direction, and after doing that I'll just cut one part and then stick this onto the base. Okay, so after doing that I'll just give a little bit cuts over here as well, and once that is done, now I'll start applying my all-time favorite, which is paper clay, and I'll be covering this whole part with paper clay. And guys, if you want to see how I make this paper clay at home in really easy and affordable way, then make sure you check out the link in the description box below, or you can check on my channel as well. And guys, over here as you might see, I'm just using my fingers and some little bit of water just to smoothen out the edges over here. So you can do the same, just apply a little bit water and smooth out the edges, and that's what I'm gonna do over here on the petals as well. Alright guys, so once I'm done with the base, I'll just apply some paper clay on top as well, just to give that nice and fluffy gown effect. And once that is done, I'll use my sculpting tools just to make the lines and the detailings. So once this is done guys, after it gets dried for 1 hour at least, you can use the same white card paper and make some cutouts and then stick it over here. So this will create the second layer for the gown, and over here I'll just do that and then start applying paper clay over here as well. Alright, so after the gown base is now done, now I'll start applying the upper half of the body, and for that again I'm using the same paper clay and some little bit of water just to smoothen out the edges. So now guys, I'll just merge the top half of the body with the bottom half of the gown, and after doing that I'll just make small pieces of leaf shaped paper clay and I'll start applying it on the top half. Alright, so after doing that, as you can see, this is what kind of shape I'm getting. I'll just apply these two on each of the sides just to complete the look, and then I'll just use my sculpting tools to give some lines and highlights. Alright, so once that is done, now I'll start making the face, and I'll just use my embossing tool to just give some highlights near the eyes area. You don't have to go and completely sculpt out the face, you just have to make the eyes area little bit seen through, and that's it. Now the things you can just do using paints, and then I'll apply a little bit paper clay just for the nose, and then of course I'll use my tools to merge out with the skin. So after I'm done with that, I'll also apply paper clay to the head part, and then of course I'll start making the hairs, which is basically a nice and sleek bun. So for that, again using paper clay in different directions and forms, and once that is done, I'll apply these two small pieces of paper clay for the ears, and then of course the bun. So once this is done, now I'll just use my fingers with some water and just give some nice smoothness out of it. And for the face, of course, I'll just repeat the same thing. Once this is nice and dry, after 1 or 2 hours, you can start applying paper clay on the back side as well, just to make sure that it's nice and done. Once that is done, again using some sculpting tools, I'll just smoothen out and just make some lines. So after it's nice and dry, guys, after 24 hours, you can start scrubbing off the excess paper clay using some sandpaper, and then of course the favorite part, which is painting. So over here, I'll just paint the dark skin color which she has, and guys, trust me, it looks amazing. So for that, I'm just using my all-time favorite acrylic paints. You can also use fabric paints instead, it will do the same work. And then over here, I've just used some card paper, and I'll apply these tiny pieces of card paper over here, and then on the hands as well, just these two parts of the palm which I've cut out with using just some card paper. Okay, so after that is done, I'll just start painting her hairs with black acrylic paint. And after doing the hairs, you just have to make sure it's nice and done, and acrylic paints gives just the best shine you can expect, and that's what I'm doing. After doing that, I'll just use my very thin brush and start painting the facial expressions. So it's little bit time consuming but worth the time. And after that is done, now let's start painting the base of the gown, which is very light lemon color. So over here I'm just painting that. Alright, once that is done, now let's start painting the light green color, and trust me guys, these two colors were really beautiful. So these two colors are actually the thing which is just completing the whole look of Princess Diana. So make sure you do that. So once this is done, now I'll just paint the other half of the hands remaining, of course the gloves. And once that is done, and over here I've just made these small leaves, and this one which is the flower for the dress to be completed. Now I'll just apply it using some leaves, and of course you have to stick this on the dress. So now this side is completed. Now I'll just apply the crown as well, and now I'll just use some white paint and just put some dots with little bit of glitter in it. And once that is done guys, you all requested me to make a movable doll, so here it is. The hands are easily movable as well as the neck. So guys, this was the final video. I really hope you guys liked it. If you did, please make sure you give it a big fat thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and make sure you hit the bell icon so that whenever I post a new video you will be notified. Till next time, bye bye.